Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Deep Dive. You know how much we love to dig into the mysteries of history. Well, today we're setting sail on a particularly intriguing one, the tale of Captain Kidd and his legendary buried treasure.
Oh, yeah. Captain Kidd, his name practically echoes with stories of piracy and plundered riches.
Exactly. I mean, who doesn't love a good pirate story, right?
Yeah.
But this deep dive, we're going beyond the romanticized image of the swashbuckling pirate. We're going to examine the historical Captain Kidd, the man who was both celebrated as a privateer and condemned as a pirate.
Yeah, he's one of history's more complex figures, that's for sure.
Absolutely, and at the heart of it all lies this tantalizing question. Did Captain Kidd actually bury a vast fortune? And if so, where in the world is it hidden?
Right, because we've got centuries worth of treasure hunters combing coastlines and islands, all searching for that elusive bounty.
Yeah, and none of them finding it. So let's start by untangling the truth from the legend. Now, you've done a lot of research on this. Can you explain the difference between a privateer and a pirate? Because I think a lot of people use those terms interchangeably.
Yeah, I think that's pretty common, but back then there was a very clear legal distinction. See, in the late 17th century, powerful nations like England, they couldn't patrol the entire ocean themselves. So they'd grant these letters of marque to private ship captains, essentially turning them into state-sanctioned pirates, I guess you could say.
So, like a legal pirate with the government-issued permission slip to plunder enemy ships.
Exactly. They could capture vessels belonging to rival nations and seize their cargo. All perfectly legal as long as they stayed within the rules outlined in their letters of marque.
Okay, so that's where Captain Kidd comes in. He started out as a privateer, but then he kind of got tangled up in this whole mess with the Quedagh merchant, right?
That's right. So Kidd, he set sail with this letter of marque from the English crown, and his mission is to hunt down French ships. However, in 1698, he captures the Quedagh merchant, a treasure-laden ship, but here's the catch. The Quedagh merchant, while sailing under a French pass, was actually carrying goods belonging to Armenian merchants.
Okay, so it gets a little murky there.
Very murky because this capture, it throws Kidd right into a political firestorm. Was he acting as a privateer, or did he overstep his bounds and become a pirate?
I mean, it sounds like he was technically operating under his letter of marque.
He claimed he was, and to be fair, the lines between privateering and piracy were often blurry back then. But England was in this delicate political situation, you know. They wanted to appear strong on the world stage. But they also wanted to avoid all-out war with powerful nations like France.
So they needed a scapegoat.
Well, Kidd's capture of the Quedagh merchant, it became a major international incident. And the English crown, they found themselves needing to appease these powerful merchant factions. Kidd became a convenient offering, almost a sacrificial lamb, to demonstrate that they were committed to upholding the law.
Wow, talk about being caught in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right. So Kidd is arrested, tried for piracy, and sentenced to death. And here's where the legend of his buried treasure really takes root.
Because on the gallows, Kidd offered to reveal the location of his hidden wealth in exchange for his life.
That's wild. Absolutely. Imagine the scene. Kidd standing on the gallows with the noose around his neck. He declares that he's hidden 100,000 British pounds, a massive fortune, even by today's standards.
So they must have jumped at the chance to get their hands on all that treasure.
Surprisingly, no. They refused his offer. See, they were determined to make an example of him. Their goal was to send a chilling message to any other would-be pirates considering a life of plunder.
So they chose to execute him and lose out on a potential fortune.
It seems that way. They believed that the deterrent effect of a public execution, a very brutal one at that, would ultimately be more valuable than any treasure Kidd could offer.
Yeah, you mentioned his execution was brutal. What exactly happened?
Oh, it was a gruesome spectacle. Kidd was hanged, and then his body was coated in tar, placed in an iron cage, and left to rot over the River Thames as a warning to all who sailed past. It was supposed to be this stark visual reminder of the consequences of piracy.
It's amazing to think that even after this very public and brutal death, the mystery of Captain Kidd's treasure still lives on centuries later. Why do you think that is? What is it about this story that keeps people so captivated?
I think it's that age-old allure of the unknown. The idea of a hidden fortune lost to time, just waiting to be discovered. It's a powerful image. It taps into our sense of adventure, you know? The dream of finding a map, following the clues, and unearthing a chest overflowing with gold and jewels. It's a fantasy that's endured for centuries.
And in Kidd's case, the fact that he never revealed the location of his treasure, even facing death, adds another layer to the mystery. It makes you wonder, did he actually bury anything at all? Or was it a desperate bluff to try to save his own life?
Exactly. Maybe there never was a buried treasure. Maybe it was all a fabrication, a story concocted to give his life some semblance of meaning in those final moments. But even if there wasn't any real treasure, the legend itself has become a treasure of sorts. It's inspired countless books, movies, and even real-life treasure hunts. It's a story that continues to capture our imaginations.
It really does. So what do you think? Was Captain Kidd a shrewd pirate who managed to outwit everyone and hide his ill-gotten gains? Or was he a victim of circumstance? A man caught in the complex web of international politics and made an example of?
It's hard to say for sure. The historical record is often muddled and open to interpretation, but that's part of what makes this story so fascinating. We're left to sift through the evidence, weigh the different perspectives, and ultimately draw our own conclusions.
Exactly. And maybe, just maybe, that's the real treasure here. The opportunity to delve into the past, grapple with the complexities of history, and decide for ourselves what we believe. Perhaps some secrets are meant to remain just that. Secrets forever fueling our curiosity and sense of adventure.
I think you've hit the nail on the head. The legend of Captain Kidd's treasure is more than just a hunt for gold. It's a journey into the heart of history, a reminder that the past is never truly settled, and that there are always stories waiting to be unearthed. And who knows? Maybe someday someone will stumble upon that elusive buried treasure. But even if they don't, the search itself is a testament to the enduring power of a good mystery.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it, folks. The tale of Captain Kidd, a story of piracy, politics, and perhaps the most enduring treasure hunt in history. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep into the mysteries that surround us.
Happy hunting, everyone!
We'll see you on the next deep dive.